Happy day, YouTube. My name is John, and this is my channel, The Intermancer. The last episode may have ended a little abruptly. I was having some technical problems with my computer, and I was having some difficulties in figuring out how to disable the Copilot, GitHub Copilot, from making suggestions. It turns out it's this little guy right here. Configure code completions. I turned it off there. I tried to turn it off before, but as I was going through making a bunch of edits as suggested by Claude for my latest pile of changes, it was making all kinds of suggestions that I didn't want. So I spent some time off camera trying to figure out how to really turn that off. Let's see if we've got it. So I'm here in multiplication gene. Let's do this. Add unimplemented methods, copy of, override. Now I can say multiplication gene. Still making a bunch of suggestions. I mean, yeah, that's what I want. Okay, that's what I want. Okay. Definitely where I'm seeing that I do want to take those suggestions because it's a lot easier. Especially when I'm doing a bunch of boilerplate, because I'm just going here to the sign. Now I know that that's got a problem, and I don't know how to get Visual Studio Code because I made a change to gene. See, I made this change to gene where I added a new abstract method of copy of. However, that should have given an error to all of my actual genes, and every time I open one, it shows you've got unimplemented methods, which is exactly what I want. But I don't know why it's not saying it, why I have to open them to get all this. Anyway, whatever. Sign gene, and then I'm just gonna take probably what it gives me. Sign gene, copy, new sign gene, clone properties, copy. Oh, that's what I want. Get rid of this, save that. See how quick that made it because of the Copilot? Really quick. But I don't want that kind of help. I really don't. We are just gonna take those suggestions for now and see what happens. Okay. All of that is done. Gene gets that. Chromosome now has, okay, now I can go back to Claude. Claude.ai. I don't want to restore all my pages. I just want my chats. Okay, updated chromosome. And it should have given me the consume, clone, new chromosome, set UUID. Chromosome should no longer have an ID. Sets the ID for this chromosome, gets ID for this chromosome. I'm gonna copy this, but I don't need get ID because, right, data quantum consumer, it didn't see that data quantum consumer no longer needs get ID. So I'm gonna copy this, and when I paste it into chromosome, it already, okay, it has that. We don't need ID. So I don't need this set UUID. Gene dot copy of. Return clone. Okay, all of that should be fine. Updated organism. Now, organism, when do I need a clone for this? Okay, so let's see. Organism doesn't need any kind of cloning behavior. It just added that for fun, to be consistent, it said. It does, however, need get ID and set ID, which it has. Okay. Going back to Claude. Update gene test. With the cloning, and it's got a test for cloning. So I'll do that. If you don't update an equals method, okay. If you don't override java.lang.object.equals, then by default, it just tests to make sure that two classes are the same. So what that tells me is that I need to update it for organic, for gene at least. And for chromosome, chromosome doesn't have an ID. And for gene, I don't care about the ID. And for organism, I don't care about the ID. So for gene, start a gene. And I'm not gonna, I'm just gonna do it here. I'll push this up. I'm doing a lot of thinking out loud. My computer was giving me some problems earlier, and it's kind of discombobulated my thought process. So I'm trying to get back into the thing where I'm thinking out loud for you fine people. But all my videos are going to be a mess. I don't know if I'm going to have 2 short videos or 1 really long video, but I do think watching me flail around is a little bit interesting, and some people might want to see that, but maybe not. So we'll see. But definitely here we need to Boolean equals, let's see, I thought I'd already answered that. It already did, but it didn't keep it. So I did copy of. I had used clone previously, but I changed it to copy of in all the places instead of clone. Even though clone is what I'm doing, I don't need to do that. So what is the method signature for java.lang.object.equals? Okay, got it. So, gene Boolean equals equals object bj. Gene overrides the java.lang.object that equals method. It calls how does equals work for java.lang.list. Is there even java.lang.list, or is it java.lang.collections a list? Compares the contents of, okay. Java API Java. Two lists are defined to be equal if they contain the same elements in the same order. Works properly. Here's how equal lists must have this be the same size in order using their own equals method. Okay, good. So when I do chromosome and I compare the list of genes, it'll call the equals method on each gene in order. That's good. That's what I want. Okay. It two genes are equal if and only if, you can see my mathematician side coming out right there. If and only if is a math thing. Two genes are equal if and only if their target index list and operational constant list properties are also equal. Concrete genes might further specify, further override the equals method but the ID property should never be considered when determining if two genes are equal. Okay, that's good. That's good. Let's see. We can see what that does. I'm just going to push this up, and I'm just going to ask for an implementation of the equals method, and also for chromosome. Boolean equals object bj. Chromosome two chromosomes are equal if and only if their genes properties are equal. And then organism, we want chromosomes, but not, organism needs get and set chromosome. Oh, getter and setter, okay. Good. Organism overrides two organisms if their chromosomes properties are equal. The ID property is not part of equals comparison. Save that. I'm going to push just that up. Added equals to gene and organism. Commit and push. Okay. Now I am going to create a new chat. Projects. In here, update this. Boy, the project knowledge capacity. I keep using more and more of the project knowledge, which is understandable. Okay. Generate implement based on organic classes.md. Generate equal implementations of the equals method for gene, chromosome, and organism. Ooh, okay, let's see how this goes. Okay, good, good. Just that method. Other, if, turn true, or it's not. Same class, okay, true, good. If target index list equals null, if other one equals null, turn does not equal null, then false, else if. Good, good, good. Chromosome equals, if this other equals chromosome object, genes, okay, if genes equals return false, return true, good, good. Organism, same thing, but for chromosomes. Note that good practice would also be to override the hashcode method when overriding equals. The hashcode method should be consistent with the equals method, meaning that if two objects are equal according to equals, they should have the same hashcode. Here are corresponding hashcode implementations. Okay, I'm going to take all of that. Okay, this is the implementation of equals for gene. We will go over here to gene. and add this. Okay, I've got to indent all of this stuff. Okay. And go ahead and grab the hash code for Gene. Okay. Save all that. Still making suggestions, inline suggestions. Don't like that. Don't know what to do about it. Okay. Go over here to chromosome. Do it for, get the chromosome, copy this, add that. And now for organism, I am going to take, oh no, I still got to do the hash code for chromosome, copy this, tab that, save that, and now for organism, same thing, copy this, and tab that, and go back to here, get the hash code, save that. Okay. Tasks, build. Symbols and tests. Okay, I don't need a test. I just want a symbol, which is all the compiling. Okay. Everything builds correctly. Tests are going to fail. I'm going to build. Tests are going to fail. Yes. Source ID. Okay. But I can take everything that I've done that is not test. Chromosome. Add that. Data quantum consumer. What's different in data quantum consumer? Ah, okay. Gene, organism, addition gene, vision gene. Okay. All of the concrete genes now implement copy of, and the organic classes all have proper implementations of equals and hash code. Okay. Commit and push. Okay. Now we need to go through and get all of the tests working. So I want to first close everything else. Now does this thing pass? Okay, so I was just going for that. Let's see. I want to do the full build because I think it's going to fail at compile test Java. There we go. Okay. Compile test Java, chromosome.getID. And chromosome test. Okay, so it's giving me all the problems finally. Let's see, chromosome test. Assert not, no, we don't need that. Okay. What's next? Basic organism breeder test. Ugh. I think I'm going to delete that for now and regenerate it because it's just got so many problems. I need to get through all of this other code. Now, let's get through everything else first. You know what? I'm going to say, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to fix it from a compile perspective, and then I'll get to the point where it's failing. Where? Okay. All right, so new chromosome, boom, boom. Doesn't need all these. Cert equals. Okay. So I should be able to say this. Just get rid of these quotes and this get ID thing. Okay. Fix this. Yeah, I'm still expecting all of these things to fail. This is also going to fail. Oops. But even though I expect it to fail, when it executes, at least it will compile. Right? Okay. Okay. That's all working. Okay, now you know what? A lot of changes there. Let's go back to build. We're still gonna fail on compiling tests. That's fine. Ooh, look, so many more, so few failures. Things are looking a lot better. Let's see. Things are looking a lot better. What is the, oh, it doesn't have, at this point, I think I need to get rid of test genes, call it an old artifact, get rid of the class, and use actual genes, because I got addition gene, right? What happens if I just add the unimplemented methods? No, I want to delete it. Okay, what all have I changed here? Chromosome test, basic organism test. Let's go ahead and fixing some compile errors in the tests. Commit and push. Okay. This has updated stuff. Not fully updated projects. Here, update this. A lot of updates because the contexts have got to be kept in sync. I'm asking it to do a lot, so I need to make sure that it's got as much information. Even when I give it the right information, even when I'm narrowing things down, I am still losing some context. So it's all about context management. Rewrite test genes .java to match the current specification of organic classes .md. Organic classes .md, right? Yes. 17, wow. Add our gene, copy of, it's just doing the copy of, that's all it needs. It does a new one. Okay, good. Copy this, come over here. Do all this, paste, save. Okay, now we expect everything to compile, but we expect tests to fail. Okay. Yeah, that's old. Okay, what? Compile test Java. Okay, chromosome test. I don't even know what it's doing there. That's a bunch of weird stuff. Terminal. How do I trigger this? Build server for Gradle. I want it to redo this build. How do I make it redo this build? Whatever. Basic organism breeder test. Okay. Copy. Here, there. What's this? That's the only thing that failed? So one failed? Okay. I have been having a difficult time with my recording today. Lots of equipment failure. I don't even know where I'm at on the video. I don't know if all of these compile errors that I was just now working through got recorded on my computer. I'm inclined to doubt that they did. But here we are. I've done a lot of work adding equals methods because I realized that my basic organism breeder test was all wrong. And it was doing comparisons based on the IDs for chromosomes, and I realized I don't need the IDs for the chromosomes. And for me to test things correctly, I really needed to implement the equals and hash codes methods on genes, chromosomes, and organisms. So I've been doing a lot. I'll find out how much got recorded where. We'll see. This is going to be very exciting. We'll see what I have. But right now, as of this moment, I believe I have my computer recording, my phone recording, and I'm still trying to get basic organism breeder test to fully pass. If you'll remember, which you might not, because I'm pretty sure it's been like an hour and a half of recording time since I last saw it, it was obvious that this test was going to fail because the Claude LLM did not understand its own design for basic organism breeder. And it was pretty obvious that the test was going to fail. And when I run it here, if I run it all the way at the top, can I do this? It's going to fail here. Failure. Tests failed. It's this last one, right? Okay, so what are we doing here? What are we doing? Let's talk it through. Let's talk it out. It actually designed a pretty decent test. So the LLM created several decent test conditions, but the asserts were not going to work. So this test has 3 parent organisms, one with 2 chromosomes, one with 1 chromosome, and one with 3 chromosomes. And then it's going to go through and create 3 children. So, for child 1, we would expect it to have 2 chromosomes, right? Because we would expect it to have P1C1, and then P3C3. Child 2 should have P2C1, P3C2. It should have two chromosomes. It should be those 2. Child 3 should also have 2 chromosomes. P3C1, P1C2. Now we have 6 parent chromosomes and 6 child chromosomes, but they're in very different orders. Let's see if this test succeeds now. It worked. Now we'll do the build. Everything ran and executed. Oh my heavens. Everything compiled, the tests compiled, and basic organism breeder test succeeded. I hope it is obvious that the only way this was going to work is if I understood everything that was happening. Test generated, children have unique IDs. Okay, that's fine, whatever. Whew, this was an adventure. Let's push everything up. Basic organism breeder test works. Everything, okay, everything compiles. Everything now compiles. Commit and push. Wow. Wow. Now, it's going to be a real question as to what I recorded for my changes to organic classes. You'll see I defined the equals methods on everything, on, not everything, but on gene, chromosome, and organism. I defined equals. Claude recommended that I also implement the hash code value, which I did. The test that it did for basic organism breeder was jacked up, but I wrote this description based on suggestions from Claude, which were actually kind of good. So, a bit of a mixed bag. In terms of how useful the LLM was. But I definitely feel like I'm right on the cusp of getting to the point where my changes are faster using the LLM than they would be if I was doing everything on my own. And that's kind of exciting. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to the next one.